Hi, I'm Michael Tortora. You typically go by Mike. My pronouns are he, him. I'm from Long Island, New York. I don't have much background with theater. I've seen a couple of plays that my cousin was in, but other than that, I don't have much background. Some fun facts is I like to cook, and I've been skydiving. So if there was like three words I would use to describe Hamilton, I would probably use grand, impactful, and modern. So grand just kind of because everything, like so much stuff is happening all at once. There's Hamilton maybe in the front, but then all around there's so much dancing and action going on. So it's just a whole lot just like coming at you, which I think is really cool. And I can imagine seeing in person is even better. And I think impactful and modern kind of go hand in hand because I think it was a really cool and modern idea how they used all BIPOC individuals in the play, especially as founding fathers who were, I think 20 years ago, if we ever thought of a play of a bunch of founding fathers, would never imagine them all being BIPOC individuals. So I think that is a really cool change we do because it kind of leads to the impactful side of it. Kind of teaches the audience of like how history can be completely like viewed differently based on who's telling history. So I think that's a really cool and important idea we need to know. If I would say the main theme, like the play was all about like taking your shot and learning when to also not take your shot, because I think that's the whole like thing Hamilton goes back and forth on for the entire play. And I would say the purpose the artists kind of want to portray is like have the audience leave the play kind of thinking about the idea of legacy. And I think they do a really good job on this, especially with Aaron Burr, because the whole play, I feel like you kind of see Aaron Burr go deeper and deeper into that villain antagonist role, and especially after he kills Hamilton, and they have the whole song basically him explaining, this is now my legacy. I'm not a founding father. I think I'm just the guy who killed Alexander Hamilton, because I feel like that's how I've always known Aaron Burr. I've never thought of him as a founding father just like Hamilton, but just the villain who killed Hamilton. I think the discussions we've had in class about owning your own are super, super important, with owning your own opinion, owning your own learning, and then owning your own ensemble. I think owning your own opinion just allows you to be able to express yourself in a place that feels safe, so you aren't just going into like knowing someone's going to say, no, that's wrong, because this is right. You can express yourself saying, I feel this, I believe this, because I think it helps grow more conversation and nurtures their conversation. And I think the own your own learning is important because you're allowed to go in with an open mind, because conversation needs to be made. And if we're just so negative about it and harsh to our peers, which goes into the ensemble part, it won't happen. And there does need to be conversation that still happens, because there are still issues that need to happen. So I think the whole idea of owning your own just really helps foster those ideas. Now, when we talked about the like hiring numbers and like the current events in class, I think how Professor E kind of said, like, wasn't very shocked, because I know like there's a lot of hiring issues in the world, but I guess I was kind of amazed by how bad it was actually. Like the one stat with 100% of artistic directors were white, I think was really shocking. And then for each of the 5 articles, I think the article just describing the open letter was important. I think it kind of gave you an idea of like, yeah, there's problems in the world, and this also touches into theater, which I feel is a very like open and creative place. Like I think that's, as an outsider, that's how I always felt, but seeing that's not entirely that was very interesting. And then the actual open letter itself, I think, opened my eyes even more to see like the actual examples of what goes on, and how like upper up people just take a workshop to say they did it, but they actually don't follow through with it and don't make changes. So it's all just like an image thing, and don't actually try to make change that needs to happen. Then there was the controversy about the casting in Hamilton, and I kind of like the hot quote they pulled from Obama, kind of saying how this play was so important because it kind of taught us how like America wasn't just built by just like 2 great men. It was built by many people, and it was built not just for a few people, it was built for all of us to inherit. Then there was also the article like kind of giving the uh, criticism to Hamilton and how it wasn't feminist, and there's some issues they didn't touch upon, like what the founding fathers actually did and was racist, and they don't really touch upon that. So I think I liked that article because I felt like I've always only heard really positive things. So hear like negative feedback I thought was also kind of interesting. And the one article kind of comparing Gen Z and millennials opinions on it, wasn't really shocked because I feel like Gen Z and millennials typically just have really differing opinions, and just like not even opinions but also just ways we go about things, and I think the article touches upon that really well. And I guess kind of like all together, I think it's really important that we just are able to talk about these events because there are real problems, and it's just glad that we can get this out in the open and be able to start a conversation about it. And I think Hamilton's kind of whole role in the current events is, while it does like lack in some places, like that one current article mentions, I think it does a really good job on trying to fix these problems. Like, granted, it doesn't get everything right, but I think it does get a lot right about, especially like including the whole cast being BIPOC individuals. I think it really grows and helps foster those people's careers and makes other BIPOC people believe like there is an opportunity for us to grow our influence into the theater community. So I think that was really good by Hamilton.